This right here is a Compaq Armada, and in the spirit of December, I thought we'd take a closer look at it today, since it is awesome with some great features that makes it my go-to DOS machine. So let's get right to it. Compaq made a number of different laptops in the late 90s, and this is the Compaq Armada 1750 from 1999 that I got a few years ago. This is not the first Compaq to be in my possession though. When I went off to university, my mum let me have this machine that she got from her work, a Compaq Evo N115. I was very happy with it since it was my first portable computer. It ran Windows XP and had good JBL speakers. It also had both a CD-DVD drive and a floppy disk drive. It had some strange issues though. Something was wrong with the screen hinge, and I had to prop up the screen for it not to fall back on the table. I remember I could take off the Compaq badge and use a pen to hold the screen upright. Another issue was that the computer would overheat and power off by itself. Before I had that fixed, I remember how I used to go out and sit in my car in the winter at -10 degrees Celsius to keep the computer from turning off. Crazy times. My first encounter with a Compaq though was in 6th grade in our computer room at school. There was a bunch of older computers, some kind of PCs, I can't remember what exactly, but there was this one machine that everyone wanted to play on, a Compaq Presario CDS 520 all-in-one, just like this one. I actually got a Compaq mouse just like the one on the picture there with my IBM 5150 that I got in the summer when I thought I was buying an IBM XT. That video is here and in the video description. Actually, speaking of the Compaq mouse, the trackpads of 1999 wasn't quite what they were to become, so plugging in this PS2 mouse when playing Lemmings or Breakout games really helps. So that was my history with various Compaq machines, but this is the Armada 1750, and that's what I have now. We can see here that it has a Pentium 2 processor, and this one is clocked at 333 megahertz, and it has 128 megabytes of RAM, 64 soldered and 64 megabyte upgrade in the one available RAM slot. The screen has a nice 4:3 ratio and is in decent shape, as we will see. And the speakers here are also really good actually. I made a YouTube short recently where I played some DOS game music on this machine, and it really does sound good. I thought we'd play some DOS themed games later and take a listen to how these sound. Here in front we see one of my favorite features of this machine, dual floppy and CD drive. There's also the battery, but it has stopped working, of course. Maybe I could find a replacement and refurbish this one, but I don't really need this computer to be portable in that way. The floppy drive can be taken out like this, and a second battery could be swapped in here instead for double the battery time. See how this battery fits in this slot. This was not an uncommon feature at the end of the 90s, as seen here on this PowerBook G4, the Wall Street from 1998. Here the compartments open on the sides, and when I got it there was a CD drive and a battery. I managed to get hold of a floppy module now, which I keep on the left slot. So now there's no room for a battery here, which isn't working anyway, surprise, surprise. And here is the CD drive. there are no drives in the front of this machine. This brings us to another great feature of the Armada here underneath. When I got it, it had a very loud 6.4 gigabyte hard drive inside of this compartment right here. But without this screw, it's super easy to access. And I replaced the hard drive with this IDE to SD adapter. See link in the description. The best thing with this is that if I want to add something to the hard drive for my modern computer, say some software that I find on the internet, I just take out this SD card and pop it in my modern computer. On this PowerBook G4, the hard drive compartment is underneath the keyboard, here somewhere. I have to lift the keyboard with tabs and the base here underneath, where we took out the floppy drive and the CD drive, and then lift the keyboard out like this, and the hard drive sits down here. And it's really finicky to get the memory card out. Here in this one I have an IDE to CF adapter instead of a hard drive. Thanks to these adapters, the computers are much quieter and I also get much bigger storage. And in the Armada I'm using this 16 gigabyte micro SD card. If I use a micro SD card, I don't need to remove this adapter from the bracket, which isn't the case if I use a normal SD card. It doesn't quite come out of here without removing this adapter, this converter, like so. On this side we have double PC MCIA slots, which are really useful expansion slots. And here's an opening for an RJ11 modem port if installed. There's also this rather surprising composite out jack and a USB port, which is sweet for being $19.99. On the other side we have audio in and audio out, and also a physical volume control, which is great for DOS. We don't want to rely on software for this. On the back, along with the standard ports, we have another great feature with this machine, the built-in power supply. Instead of having to carry a power adapter around like this one for the PowerBook G3 that we just saw, I can just plug the power cable straight into this computer. Apparently this common cable is called the IEC 60320C5 and fits right in here and into the mains. This is the same kind of power cable that fits into these adapters otherwise, and also in modern laptops, in many modern PC laptops. This does mean that there's a fan here on the back, but it's not terribly noisy. Actually, I got hold of two of these machines and they both had some issues between them, so I combined them into one fully working unit. I remember one of the issues was a faulty fan that was making an awful sound, and there was also only sound in one of the speakers in one of the machines, and one of the screen tabs here had broken off as well. So except for the power jack here on the back, we have a serial and the parallel port. I have a VGA port, the PS2 port for my mouse, and a larger connector for the docking station that I don't have. There's even actually an IR receiver for wireless transfer of files between units here. This is really old school pre-Bluetooth. Right, so that's the tour. Let's get this thing fired up. I'm really only using this computer for MS-DOS, but I have installed Windows 98, which of course runs on top of MS-DOS 6.22. Since something always seems to manage to break when mucking about in DOS, I made a backup of the SD card image, which has a working installation with all the drivers I need. actually needed this while preparing this video. Something broke and I wasn't able to boot into Windows again from DOS, so I had to flash the image again, and now it's working again. I hope the quality of the speakers really come across with the intro sound there. It actually does sound great. There are some subwoofer-like holes here on the sides of the computer as well that I think contribute to the sound as well. This computer actually came with Windows 2000. When I tried it out, it still booted from it, and it even had a game called Bugatron, which is like Space Invaders. The reason I wanted to try that hard drive again is that the BIOS resides on the hard drive on these Compaqs, and I haven't got that installed on my own Windows 98 installation on the SD card. It doesn't seem to be installed on the Windows 2000 installation hard drive either. I haven't actually had to access the BIOS for anything though, so it's not a problem. But if we take a look at this program CPU-Z here, or CPU-Z, or CPU-Z, I guess it's American, we can see the various hardware settings without the BIOS. We see that there's a Pentium machine, of course, 333 megahertz, as I mentioned. We see that there is level 2 cache, which is really good. See the memory here, 128 megabytes, and the graphics card here, a Rage LT Pro. This can be ignored apparently, but Rage LT Pro memory graphics card, which is pretty good. I'm using the DOS made super easy from Phil's Computer Lab. See the description for a link. There's also a CD driver and a mouse driver there for DOS that actually work. I've also installed USB drivers available for Windows 98 in this machine, which makes it possible to use a memory stick with this computer, which is great for transferring files. Link to that is also in the description, found on the website of Phil's Computer Lab. So let's double click on this link to restart in MS-DOS. Excellent. There we see how the CD driver has loaded, and also the mouse driver. So I have some Christmas editions of some games that are nice. Actually, one of them is my favorite DOS game. I played Jazz the Jackrabbit for the first time in '95 when visiting some friends in California, and it wasn't until long after that I realized the game had come out already just 1 year before, in 1994. I really like this game, and it's just awesome. Here is the Christmas edition Holiday Hare from 1995. I love the jazz Jackrabbit version of Carol of the Bells in this game. The sound really is good. Apparently the sound card is an ESS 1869 audio drive, which is very capable. Here is another game called Sky Xmus. I never played the regular game, but I assume it's like this one, but without the snow. So the video card, the Rage Pro LT with 4 megabytes of video memory, runs quite differently from when I tried this game to run on the SoftPC emulator in a recent video. I guess that is a gross understatement. As I'm sure you noticed in the little tour, although this computer does come equipped with many ports, there is no built-in Ethernet port. And this is where the PC MCIA slots come in handy. I found this RetroTech Ethernet card online, and I also managed to find the drivers. And they were very straightforward to install in Windows, and now I can browse my favorite retro-friendly websites on this thing from Windows 98. Actually, these PC MCIA slots can be used for a whole host of things. It would probably work to fit a Wi-Fi card and use it in here. And I saw a video where it was used to attach an external CD drive, but luckily my CD drive internal one is working fine. I have one other PC MCIA device that I use in my PowerBook G3 that we saw, and it's this CF adapter. And I'm actually able to boot that computer from a CF card in the PC MCIA slot using this one. So as we can see, the internet is working in Windows, but could we get it working in DOS as well? Well, I'd really like to manage that, since I will want to get networking done in my 5150 in the future. I came across this thing, mTCP, on brutman.com, which provides connectivity to DOS, link in the description. I suspect there is some way to accomplish this network connectivity with these resources in DOS, but after many hours of trying, I'm afraid I have to give up for now. I found the packet driver for my Ethernet card, but I don't seem to be able to initialize the card. I'm not sure about the parameters needed either. I did install this software called CardSoft that gives PC MCIA support for DOS, which I suspected could be the problem. And looking at the hardware diagnostic tool, we can see that this slot does register as populated with the card inserted, but I can't get the packet driver to initialize. If anyone has any tips on this, I'd be very grateful. For now, I have to stick to games in DOS and do my BBSing on my 68K Max. So that was a look at my Armada 1750. If you enjoyed it, I'd appreciate if you hit that like button. And if you like more retro computing coming your way, do subscribe to the channel. Take care, and thank you for watching.